So we are at the Michael Jordan retirement ceremony part 2 in 1998, where it was like this whole ESPN event. They like dedicated the whole day to Jordan, and obviously see 6 championships behind him. I'm pretty sure everybody at the time was like, "He's not. This is it. This is for sure it. He's definitely not coming back now." Everyone's really happy with the photo finish of his career with the crossover and the jump shot.
You think like at this time, you're saying that they're thinking he's never going to come back?
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, I know like just within like a year, media would like bug him and asking it, like trying to like.
Oh well, yeah, that starts
him to come back and stuff.
Because he comes back for that practice.
Yeah. Yep.
Where he does, and it's the first time I ever saw Jordan when I was a kid. Like, it was one of the first YouTube videos I'd ever saw, or I ever seen, with Jordan telling him, "Look around you, look around you."
What's the score? 8-3. 8-3. It's 8-3. That's what you can't protect me. When you reach, I teach. You got it. All day. Look around you, man. Look around you. What you see when you see around you? Look. Look around you. Man, let's do it. What is that? Let's see what it is. Sit down. Don't call me out of retirement. See it again. Limits me. I can't do much, but I mean, I just came out and have a good time. He talked a little trash in Atlanta. I had to come in.
Why are you hanging around so many arenas, going to games, now practice?
That's actually just coincidence. You know, I was in New York. Patrick asked me to come to the game. I was in Atlanta. You know, Lenny I know very well. And then the Bulls came there, which a couple of guys called me last year to come by, and I never got a chance to come down. Traffic is not as bad in Atlanta as it is in Chicago, so it was easy. Don't take anything out of it. I know you guys, y'all like to ride it.
When was the last time you were in this building?
It was a retirement. It's been a while. I haven't been here since.
It's just all his shit. Guys are busting this guy, this rookie.
Like, imagine, like just a year ago, you were just winning a championship here, and then you have to like bust this kid's ass to let him know that you're the guy, and you're like, I don't even know why I have to do this to you, because like when you walk into here, like there's a fucking big statue here telling you that I'm that guy. Whatever, like I guess I gotta dog walk you. Like,
oh man, it was so that's a great fucking that's a great video. But
yeah.
So and then he talks to the media after that in a full sweat, like just fully drenched, just being like, "No, guys, I'm not coming back. Stop."
Yeah.
Stop it. I just came to have some fun with the guys.
Yeah, I just came to just beat the shit out of this dude, let him know who
basically why he came. That's basically the only reason he showed up, is because the rookie they drafted this year was like, I'm glad he left. I would have whooped his ass one-on-one.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, in the general public's eyes, Jordan at this press conference and pretty much going forward is the big quote is, "I'm 99.9% sure that I'm done."
Yep.
And people are happy with that for the most part.
I mean, to do what he did in that amount of time, like, was just amazing. So, I mean, like, you gotta be, and they had already experienced something like this,
right?
Like, not in terms of like a Michael Jordan, because obviously there hasn't been another Michael Jordan, but like the Magic Johnson thing. You just had 10 years ago or 8 years ago, the guy retired randomly in the middle of his career because of HIV. So
yeah, and I think Michael's first retirement was way more shocking than this one in terms of people just being.
Because at this point, he's consensus, no matter what, undoubtedly the GOAT.
Yeah, 6 rings, dominated the entire 90s.
And when he's coming, even in like 02, when he's 01, 02, when he's coming in, they like draw it out as the GOAT is coming back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like everyone is saying that he's the GOAT.
So from this press conference, he does that. He goes back to practice with the Bulls, like we just talked about, and then it kind of died. Like you see him here or there, you see him at games every so often. He would show his face, but then David Stern really, Jordan expressed interest in helping a franchise to David Stern, and the Washington Wizards in the 99-2000 season were, I think, in the bottom third of the league. Yeah, 21st out of 29 teams in attendance.
Yep.
And Stern was looking for a way to beef up that franchise. So he made the introduction to Abe Pollin? I don't know what his name is pronounced like, but he was the owner of the Wizards.
Yep.
At the time, right? And so they hired Jordan on January 20th, 2000. On the 19th of January, they were 12-28 were the Washington Wizards when they signed on Jordan, right?
Yep.
Not to play, but to be president of basketball operations, essentially. Like
and part owner, right?
Yeah, he would get a small stake in ownership.
Yep.
And he was the president of basketball operations, kind of like what Pat Riley does for Miami in today's era. And this would birth a different kind of legacy for Michael Jordan, one that doesn't get talked about. And if he's the greatest player of all time, he might be, by all accounts, the worst general manager or runner of a franchise in the history of the league.
Yeah.
He has the opposite of a Jerry West track record.
Yeah.
It's like the exact opposite of Jerry West's career.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. That's yeah. Well, I mean, Jerry West
I didn't think about that till just now.
Yeah. Well, Jerry West had a pretty good career, but
yeah,
true. Like Larry Bird was a guy that was able to do it in all the levels of basketball and stuff like that. And MJ was just like, I'm a really great player.
Yeah,
I suck at everything else.
Magic Johnson historically came back to coach for the Lakers and was a horrific coach.
Yeah, exactly.
But Michael Jordan,
I could not imagine Michael Jordan coaching. That would be just horrible. It would have been interesting to see him coach at this time of his career, like right before. Like, I don't think he could have done what Jason Kidd did. Like, I think that would have expedited his return to the court for MJ. Yeah.
If he was on the court every day, having to be there coaching the kids.
Seeing these trash ass dudes.
Yeah.
Like just.
But the biggest reason why I think MJ did so poorly, especially in this first run, is, as you can see, there's two executives here, Michael Jordan and Wes Unseld. Mm-hmm. So Wes Unseld,
my son,
NBA Hall of Famer, historic Wizard, but he was the general manager during this time, while Michael Jordan was still operating Michael Jordan Enterprises out of Chicago. One of the quotes was, his work ethic as a GM was suspect. He was often out of town. He wasn't the guy working the phones. He was still the head of Michael Jordan Inc. This became a moonlighting gig for Jordan.
Oh, so just like Magic. It's like Magic with the Lakers. It's awesome.
It's exactly what it's.
At least like Magic has more of like a like you can do that. Like, I'm Magic Johnson. I brought you 5 championship, 9 finals runs. Like, I've done shit here. Like, MJ did nothing for this team.
He in the year 2000, he is God walking on earth at that point for two NBA circles. Like,
because I mean, his thing is, well, I'm the reason it is where it is right now.
Yeah, And even if worst case scenario, like it turned out the way it turned out, the way he was as GM, at minimum, Stern and Poland both figured attendance would go up, and they'd make more bank for the nation's capital, right? Yeah. So they finished 29-53 for that season. Jordan takes over in the middle. Then the 2000-2001 season, Jordan's still not playing. He's the main executive now. It's just him.
Yep.
And they go 19-63.
Yep.
Scoring, basically allowing, look at this, just to show you the slow pace garbage era that we're in. 99 points per game is almost dead last for defense.
Time out. Let's not say garbage era. Like, because we got some greatness playing. Just because Jordan ain't winning right now and all this other shit. Let's not. We got some dope ass shit happening during this era. And I know people in the comment section are about to help me out and tell me that they feel the same way. You got idols up in here wilding out. So let's not do that, but let's keep on, Ross.
But, what do you call it? Almost dead last in points allowed per game, and they're still not allowing 100 points. It's just a completely different era.
That's insane.
Now. It's fucking stupid.
Like, that would be number one defense easily.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Pretty sure you're right.
Like in the NBA for the last 15 years.
They have a super young Rip Hamilton. They have an old man, Rod Strickland, who's, I think he's Kyrie Irving's uncle, some shit like that. And he has the same, like, he's one of the best finishers at the rim of all time. Nobody really talks about him. They have Christian Laettner, who was a bust in comparison to what he was in college.
What they expected from him,
yeah. And they have an old 35-year-old Mitch Richmond. It's just a pot of okay guys. And Juwan Howard, who I'm pretty sure is wildly overpaid.
And it's horrible because this is like the East at this point is very weak. So
yeah.
So like you would expect to, like to be one of the worst teams in the East while it's at its like lowest levels is pretty disgusting.
Yeah, Juwan Howard making $16 million. I knew he was.
Yo, that's crazy.
For that era,
wait, time out. In those 34, 50. All right, in those 4 years, he made like 70% of what Jordan made in his entire career.
So
that's crazy. That just shows you guys what Jordan did to elevate the game.
And it's also there was no rookie scale. So as you can see, he went from his rookie deal right into this. There was no like extended period of time where he was making less money.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that going on in the late 90s and into the 2000s. But that's basically...
that's crazy.
Oh, what?
No, I was going to say, imagine making like 1.6 and then jumping up to almost 10 million. For nothing.
Insane. And not even because you got better as a basketball player.
Yeah, like
you were drafted here, you average more than 10 points a game here.
Yeah, like he was part of the Fab Five, but that's about it. Like no one else talks about Juwan Howard.
Very true. And he's later in his career, he's the guy that is the cheerleader for the Miami Heat as he sits on the bench forever. He just perpetually on the bench.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure this is the worst record in the league this year. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I believe so. Because they get the number one pick. Yes, and it's pretty much the walking meme for Michael Jordan, other than the crying face.
Oh, wait. So, ironically, the only two teams with less wins are the Chicago Bulls have the lowest amount of wins because after they dropped Jordan and chose to rebuild, as Jordan predicted, they went hard into the rebuilding.
Yeah. Well, they were in Fat Boy's defense. It was because he was expecting Michael Jordan to be part of that rebuild. And his plan backfired on him.
That guy is a fucking moron. I don't know how much clearer it can be than him telling the reporters every single time he was asked, if Phil's not coming back, I'm not coming back. And that's it.
Yeah.
But the other team that's lower than the Wizards are the Golden State Warriors. I just think that's ironic because where they're at now.
Yeah.
But let's look at that 2000 draft because this is the only draft that Jordan had control 100% with the Washington Wizards, right? Or 2001 NBA draft, excuse me.
Yep.
The guys at the top of this class, as you can see, the top 4 did not attend college. So it's kind of a crapshoot, in my opinion. It's kind of a crapshoot, especially when you consider the resources that they're messing with at the time. Like, if there's no scout directly at the game watching these guys, they're probably not, like, there is no social media or anything like that. It's kind of a crapshoot. I'm not defending the pick.
because you don't really have video on anything. Like,
and before that, as I said, all the guys who were at the top of the draft, maybe you'd have like one guy that didn't go to college.
But you see my boy right there, Powie, was good, Pow. You already know he's packing out. Stop playing. He was the best player in that draft. Don't play with him.
But MJ famously selects Kwame Brown, if I were to say it in Stephen A. voice. And
shout out to Kwame.
There's this whole thing that's come out fairly recently where Kwame is trying to like defend his career or whatever. But in defense of the pick, I don't know. I feel like it's a crapshoot when you're looking at 4 of the best guys and they all play in high school, in my opinion. Like, there's a reason why Kobe went as low as he did in the draft a few years before. And it's because people were worried about taking a risk on high school guys for this exact reason.
Yeah.
But,
well, it had panned out a little bit, like during because of Kobe, Garnett,
true,
and stuff like that, kind of. So people were probably starting to look at it like, oh, maybe it's not that bad of a thing. So,
and we can take
something like this happen,
and we can get an extra few years out of them on the front end.
Yeah, and then Pau. So he could have had Pau Gasol as a teammate.
Yeah,
like, what if MJ would have been with Pau? Like,
I don't think it would have been any better because I think Pau would have been mentally destroyed by MJ. I think it would have been similar because it took Pau to get to Kobe before he really got
the tough. Yeah,
toughness. So I don't think as a rookie it would have went well.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Pau needed that,
and that was like what? That's 8 years later. Like, no, less than that. 6 years later. Yeah,
but still, he had time in the league at that point.
Yeah. No, that's true.
But it would be cool to see. What if he got Eddie Curry? He would have been fucked there too. But there are some guys down here that play his position. Jason Richardson, Shane Battier, guys that Joe Johnson sitting here.
He was definitely while picking. He was thinking, I think I'm gonna come back because why wouldn't you? You could have got a guard, but I mean they did have a guard like a young guard anyways, so I could see why he would go for a big. And so I don't know. I could understand the pick. It's not.
To add on to your point, this draft was June 27th, 2001.
Yeah,
and Doug Collins was hired. Well, not rehired, but was hired as the Wizards head coach.
Yep.
On April 30th of 2001, and at that point, there are tons of quotes, and the quotes will be on your screen. In the one article that I was reading about Doug Collins getting hired, where everyone's asking Jordan, "So does this mean you're coming back? Are you coming back, dude?
Yeah.
You gotta be coming back. You hired Doug Collins. You're coming back. You can't fool us, stupid." And he was like, and the some of the shit he said in that.
That's how you know he really had dick riders, though. Like, my man is 38 at this point.
So here's the quote when he hired Doug Collins. 3 months from now, I can't tell where I'm going to be, Jordan said at a news conference. Hopefully I'm still breathing. That's something I have to deal with at this particular time. If you ask me my opinion right now, I'm not playing basketball next season, and Doug understands that. It's his job to prepare the team as he sees fit with the talent we have on the basketball court.
Yeah.
So here's my hot take. You ready for my hot take here?
Yeah.
I think he's taken Kwame Brown for the thought of, this will be my Shaq.
No, he's not. No,
Yes,
he's
he
not
is.
thinking
He's
that.
thinking I'll get Doug, and instead of having a Scotty next to me, I'll finally have the dominant big man. I'll do Kobe better than Kobe. I'm sure that's what he's thinking in his head. I'm not telling you he's right or wrong, but I am telling you that the odds of him thinking that are extremely high. That's all I'm saying. It's crazy. It's crazy, but that's the pressure that was put on Kwame Brown entering the NBA. It's definitely a fact.
All right, let's move. Yeah, let's keep moving.
So they get through the draft, and then Jordan is going to join the team.
This is what really. So that's what really should kind of before we get to this piece. So he holds like a practice thing, right? Like he starts practicing with current NBA players, similar to what he did in the 90 what was it, the 93 94 95 season? No, sorry, 95 96 season.
The Space Jam games.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of a combo. It was kind of a mix of what he did or what happened to him during his 95 season, where everybody's like, "You're coming back, dude. You're coming back," and the press is like all on top of his shit. Yeah. And then mixing that with what he did in 96, which was, all right, I'm going to take this very seriously. I'm going to have youth come in, and I'm going to, do my thing. I'm going to train against them. I'm
going to work my way up. Yeah.
If I can still get it up.
Yeah, and that was his thing. He really wanted to see if he could play with these dudes. So he was like doing all his moves and stuff, and he was seeing like he could get some of the stuff off. So it started making him feel like, okay, I'm confident enough to feel like I can still do well on this team and help this team, kind of thing.
There's no footage of this, but it's the only time that has been documented that MJ, I'm just fucking this whole thing up. It's the only time.
I was thinking of Kobe this whole time, but that's just because I love him dearly. He's just always in my mind. So those games that you're talking about during the summer right before he comes back is the only documented time where Michael Jordan and LeBron are on the court at the same time. Because I know, right? And it's because Antoine Walker, who went to those games and was in the league at the time, brought LeBron, who was in 2001, he's 16. So he's right. He's well known. He's already been on Sports Illustrated. He fits that. It makes sense for him to be there. And I'm pretty sure that's where he met.
Antoine Walker was just talking so much shit back and forth. And, for me, when I got the opportunity, they didn't let me play for like the first hour. I'm like,
the young guy
I'm
had
16.
To sit there.
Yeah, young guy. I'm sitting there just waiting my turn. And to be honest, I didn't even think I would even get the opportunity to play. And the only reason I played is because the guys that was in the league, after after an hour, some of them didn't get tired. They're like, well, I'm done with this shit. Hey, young fella, hey, we need a fifth. You want to play? So for me to be on the court, at 16 years old, sophomore in high school with, my favorite player of all time, man, it was like, this can't be real, man. If you pinch me, man, I was like, please, I hope I don't wake up.
Yeah, I remember that game. It was a point in that game, it was like to 7 or whatever, just like a pickup. It was pickup. And Stackhouse was there, and Paul Pierce, and Penny was playing.
Ron Artest at the time.
Jamal Crawford, all the baby bulls, Eddie Curry. But Mike and Twan were like, they split them up. They were kind of the captains of each team, and they wouldn't stop. And Mike hit a game winner in the game, just like Brian said, with the foul. Same Utah foul doing the pickup. It was like, yeah, that's why they pay me $33 million to do this. That's why they pay me $33 million. I'll never forget that.
He's the Knicks. Antoine Walker's the Knicks. He played for the Knicks, right?
He was on the Celtics.
Oh, okay, my bad.
With Paul Pierce, and he was just a black hole. That guy just didn't know what the word assist looked like in the dictionary. Never seen it before. But no, he was really good friends with MJ, and that's the connection between him and LeBron. Yeah. And there's no footage of this because of course not, but that's the only time they've ever been on the court at the same time, as LeBron was at one or two of those games where Jordan was trying to get his juices back. It makes sense when you think about it, because that's what happened previously.
I'm surprised LeBron never mentioned that.
Yeah, he very I think he's.
I just feel like he rarely tries to even mention Jordan because it always goes back to that the dumb debate when he can't, like he can't.
Probably, but we're finally going to get the 75 greatest players in this upcoming basketball season about to happen, which means Jordan and LeBron will be together in the same room in Cleveland. It's going to be insane.
This is Russell's wet dream. If you guys haven't noticed him,
it's going to be insane. Happy. They've never been seen together.
Yeah,
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Two best basketball players of their generation. They've never been seen in the same fucking room together.
Yeah, because LeBron wasn't even there during Kobe's funeral thing.
That's one, or at least he wasn't televised there. He might have been in the wings, like in the back of Staples or something.
Yeah.
But when Michael Jordan was doing his speech, they put the camera on fucking everybody who was there.
What if they beefing?
That's what I'm saying.
I got LeBron knocking Jordan out. Like, I understand. I'm not gonna lie. LeBron 2 inches taller, like 50, 60 pounds heavier. I got LeBron knocking Jordan out. Let me know
unless
if y'all think LeBron can knock Jordan out. I mean, he is older, and but Jordan's still tough. I don't know.
Jordan's crazy, though. Jordan's crazy.
Somebody should do a celebrity death match of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Physical specimen, though. Like, LeBron is like, I can't imagine. I just see LeBron having too much heart to be like, nah, I'm not going to really put you out.
That's keeping Jordan into it. That's funny. That's why I keep Jordan into it, is because of the heart. LeBron has all the physical advantages.
No, I mean like a heart. Like he would think twice about killing him.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it was just like a boxing ring, like I got LeBron all day. For
if
sure.
If it's sanctioned, possibly.
Facts. But we could keep on.
But no. So, as you were saying, he does those intense workouts. Then training camp that year is moved to UNC. And that puts everybody on the fucking scent.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're coming back. You are full of shit. You're literally at the gym with these guys every day.
Yeah. And people aren't stupid. Like, if they're able to we just put the two and two together with how he, worked people out, worked with people just like he did when he was creating his other big three that no one wants to say was a big three. He people can put that two and two together and be like, this is what you did before, like this is your MO, you coming back, bro.
You're doing this shit. Don't lie to us, pussy. Fuck yeah. Fucking but so he October 1st, 2001, he comes back. Or he announces his official comeback to the beat. And this is a really interesting time because you got to believe that considering how shitty the Wizards are and considering Michael Jordan's unquenchable thirst for competition, this has got to be awesome. Because think about all the things we were talking about at the end of that last three-peat. Think about how diluted the fucking league was. Think about how the talent was transitioning, as we spoke about.
Yep.
And so now there's a whole new group of talent. Yep. The Kobe's, Vince Carter's,
Tracy McGrady's, Allen Iverson's. Yep.
Iverson. They all play his position.
Yep.
And so
he inspired all these guys. They're all ISO players. Like that's their. He created them.
Yeah, he did. And another thing we were talking about, he cleaned out his fucking his position when he was retired. Cleaned it out. There were not a lot of solid wing guys during the Jordan era that were considered as legitimate competition for him.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say just before we start getting more deeper into the basketball part, I thought this was really interesting when learning about this season. So we gotta remember the time it was 2001. So just less than a month ago, he the World Trade Centers got knocked down and stuff, and he donated his salary to disaster relief for the 9/11 attack. So a lot of people try to say that he wasn't good off the court and stuff, but that was pretty dope.
Can I share something with you though? Just a fun fact that I like to give Michael Jordan shit for. So Michael Jordan, when he fights for himself, he's making $33 million a year, right?
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying Michael Jordan needs to make $30 million a year for 9/11 survivors, but come on, man, the lowest of your career outside of the early '80s, you couldn't get these guys $3 million. Come on, you're Michael Jordan.
Yeah, especially being part owner too. Like like you could get yourself whatever you want.
It feels cheap. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, but from a basketball perspective, he's looking at it like if I could be like even 80% of what I was.
Yeah,
like that's a bargain.
Yeah,
if this team somehow wins a championship, I look like the greatest thing. Like I'm already the greatest thing on earth. I'm going to be like the greatest thing in this universe.
Yeah. And so honestly, even if he could get one over on some of the kids from this generation, it would have extremely helped his case when we have these future discussions, right? Yeah. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. You know what I mean? Like, all these kids are my fucking sons. I will end them.
Well, I don't know if he's thinking about the future. I feel like he's more so looking at it like, he wants to murder these guys just because like he looked at it and he's like all these guys are really good. Like I have some good competition, especially in my position, and 100% there's no way in hell that he's not looking at Kobe Bryant, and he already knows all the comparisons between him and Kobe going into that point. He wants to like really show people like this kid isn't me.
They already had even started when Jordan was leaving the league.
Exactly. So he at that point he's like, I could knock someone else down. Like every time someone had been compared to him, he had always wanted to knock them off their pedestal. But guess what, Jordan? Guess what, boy? This was a different breed, boy. This was a different dog, boy. This wasn't one of those little chihuahuas you were attacking, boy. This was a full-bred German Shepherd, Husky, Pit Bull, everything all combined. It was a different breed, boy.
I'm confused by that.
Stop playing with me.
Part wolf doesn't matter.
He was a wolf. You thought you was messing with a dog. He was a wolf. He was like wolf, motherfucker. Stop playing with us, cuz. All right, my bad. Let's keep.
Says full bred, but then says multiple breeds.
I didn't say full bred. What did I say?
You did right when you started. You said full bred.
Yeah, we mixed out here. Because when you mix them up, they last a little longer. That's why when he got mixed up, am I a rapper?
The logic is just flawed.
That's what I'm saying. When you mix them up, they last a little longer. Kobe lasted a good 19 years, 17 years. What? Jordan only lasted his 13, 15. He was a little dirty at the end.
All right, so.
All right, my bad. This ain't a Kobe.
Through the first 20.
I do want to, while you're doing this. So the very first game, he goes against the New York Knicks. This is perfect. It's like David Stern. Jordan called him up. Like, what's up, cuz? And he's like, yo, what's cracking, cuz? I'm coming back. I'm thinking about it, man. But we got to make this epic. We're going to move the practices to UNC. He was like, oh, we got you, Jordan.
No problem.
I need a team to, put my dick on.
Yeah.
This is David Stern said, I got the perfect idea. The Knicks? You did it for 10 years? Fuck them Knicks. We gave him Patrick Ewing, and after that, it was all dick ahead.
Not just the Knicks, but the Knicks in the Garden.
Exactly. So he said, we'll give you the Knicks. You do you. This is going to be a perfect homecoming for you. He walks into the Garden.
Yeah.
They down by 2.
Yep.
Everybody knows who's going to have the ball.
Yes.
Everybody knows what's about to happen. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. You looking at it at this time, like Jordan's not Jordan yet. He's a little chubbier, got a little bit more muscle on him, whatever. A little older, got the little Hitler goatee, mustache thing.
No, that's not it. It's later on. It's after his play. Doesn't have the Hitler stash yet.
Oh, he doesn't yet? Okay, whatever. But I've seen his mustache and I'm like, yo, man, come on, man. But it looks a little different. He's in a blue, not red. It's fine. But they expecting the game winner, everything. Go. Jordan chucks up a 3, try to end that game. and it didn't go in. And I think that was the beginning of people saying, "Is Mike not Mike?
This might not be Mike." But
okay, yeah, but I like the Mike not Mike. I thought it was like awesome, like a nice little play on whatever. All right, keep on.
Just didn't. I was confused, but
Yeah, I got you.
okay. But fucking, he scores 19 points on 21 shots in that first game, as you said, and misses the game winner.
Yep.
For the first 26 games, he's putting up 23 points on 40% shooting.
Yep.
Culminating, which is terrible for Michael Jordan standards.
Yeah, but what one thing, because I know we look at those stats and we feel like it looks really bad.
Yeah.
But we got to remember, Allen Iverson, the year before, won an MVP, averaging 31 points a game, shooting like 41% from the field.
Definitely.
So it's not an efficient era.
No, and they're all products of this fucking guy.
Exactly.
Because that's what we just watched him do for a career.
Yeah, and at this time, it's really like it looks bad because he's MJ. So you're expecting this, but he's like right here, and he's pretty much with the pack.
Yeah.
Because at this point, we'll keep on, and we could really break it down, the nitty gritty.
His 40% shooting culminates in this 6-point performance, where they lost by 27 to the Pacers, and that snapped. I think it's 860 some odd games for Jordan where he scored at least 2 points.
The longest in NBA history. Up to that point.
Definitely to that point.
Yeah.
I think LeBron got him. But
I mean, if you didn't count LeBron's playoffs, yeah.
After they get smacked by Indiana, Doug Collins.
I'm sorry, Brian. I didn't have to do it. But just, I'm sorry. I'm disrespectful. Let's keep on.
Doug Collins is sitting alone on the bus on the way back, right? And he's accompanied by Jordan, who eventually sits next to him on the bus.
Yeah, his boss, by the way. Keep on.
Yeah, his head coach. But also the guy he hired, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird, it's like technically.
It's so weird.
But he got hired. It was very confusing. But, because that's the other thing that's important to note. He's no longer an owner at this point. Once you're not allowed to have any ownership stake in a team as a player. You cannot play and be an owner at the same time. So that's clear.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense because when we get into like a little further.
Yeah, but this breaks the streak. Jordan sits with Doug Collins, who took him out of the game because you could see he played 25 minutes in this terrible performance. Took him out of the game, and Michael Jordan said, "Do you think I can still play?"
That bus is lonely as a coach when you're sitting there after you've got your head handed to you. So I was sitting on the bus, and actually Michael had hired me. He was the part owner and president GM, hired me to be the coach, and then he came back to play. I'll never forget this moment ever as a coach. That this to me was greatness. He got on the bus and he said, "Scoot over." And he looked at me and he said, "Do you think I can still play?" And I said, "Absolutely. That's why I'm here, to be here to help you." He said, to be my coach, you have to believe in me and believe I can still play. And I said, "Michael, I believe in you." He said, "You did the right thing tonight. You did the right thing tonight. So I don't care about the points, but I needed to know that you believe in me." Fast forward, we get on the plane. He has a few cocktails, smokes a couple cigars, all the things you're not supposed to do. Yeah. We get back about 3:30 in the morning in Washington. At 7:30 that morning, he's down in the fitness room with Tim Grover, working out like you can't believe. Now, he's 41 years old. We play the New Jersey Nets the next night. And Michael scores the first 3 times he has the ball. Byron Scott takes a timeout. And Michael comes over and he says, "I want the ball right there the rest of the game, and don't take me out till I tell you."
After that game, when they got smacked by Indiana, they were 14-14. So they were 500 exactly.
Yep.
So next game, they come out, and it's against the Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte, MJ's hometown, right? It's Ric Flair country and it's Michael Jordan country. It's the 2 places where
the only person to know that is someone who cares about basketball and wrestling, and somehow it intermix somehow because I would have never known that Ric Flair was from North Carolina.
But really?
Woo! Yeah, and I would.
And that's all they do whenever he comes out. Is he always gets the biggest pops there. But they're not. They're in Washington. Excuse me. So he comes out. He hits the first 4 or 5 shots in the game, and he says to Doug Collins, and notice where he's taking the shots. It's from that all familiar elbow spot.
Mm-hmm.
So keep an eye on that as we watch these highlights. I think it was after this shot too. So he gets that one easy. You could tell he's feeling it. Yeah. And he goes over to Doug Collins, and Doug Collins says, "What guy?" Or Michael Jordan says to Doug Collins, "Don't touch me. Don't take me out until I tell you to. I want the ball right here for the rest of the game."
Yeah, exactly.
And you can tell through these highlights, he dead ass doesn't get the ball in any other spots.
Yeah,
but both
exactly.
the fucking elbows. That's all. The only place he wants the ball. When he takes the ball in the fast break, he tries to get this layup here, but basically he stops and takes foul shots the whole game.
Yeah.
I want to get the quarter. I want to get the quarter breakdown. I'll come back to the highlights.
Yeah. Well, and while you're doing that, like, so towards the once it's all over, it's like 2 minutes left. Doug Collins pulls him off the court, and he asked like what got into you, pretty much, like how the hell, like what made you just randomly score 50. And he's the oldest player to score 50 too, right?
Yeah, he became the oldest in this game. He became the oldest player to put up 40 at that point, and the oldest player to put up 50.
Yeah,
34 points in the first half on 15 of 22 shooting. So, and then the second half follows it up with another 17, slows it down a little bit, but
that's probably his age.
After so he plays how many minutes here? Yeah, pretty sure he plays the whole first half. Yeah, 18 of
what, the first half?
Yeah, he plays
24 minutes. Yeah,
he plays 18 of 24 minutes so he plays a lot of it. So continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no. And at the end, Doug Collins pretty much says like, "What got into you?" And he said the guy that was defending him told him that his back hurt.
2 minutes to go in the game, he gives me the sign like, "That's enough." I take him out of the game. He walks over to the bench. I said, like, "Michael, like, what happened tonight?" He said, "Well, the guy who was guarding me told me his back was hurting. Don't ever tell me you got a problem." He said, I'll make you pay for that." 51 points later. 51 points at age 41. He came back the next game with 46. And he looked at me and he said, "I told you I could still play." 90.
He said, you never tell me that you're hurt like that. Like he's pretty much like treating him like a wounded dog. And he was like,
exactly.
"Tell me you hurt, I'm gonna expose you. Like I'm gonna yeah." And that's just like, that's that killer mindset. Like,
this is how the conversation went. "Oh, Michael, it's a pleasure to play against you. My back is hurting tonight, bro." "Oh, really? I'm up for guys. Ball me. I'm up for it." That's all he needed to hear.
Yeah.
It's the same way he treated any other personal slight. So he drops 51. Next game.
51-7. Like, for him to be, so he's also the first player in NBA history and only player to drop 50 in 3 different decades. The 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's pretty dope.
Next game, very next game, continues his volume shooting on the Nets, a team that he, towards the end of his Bulls run, was beating up pretty often.
Yeah.
Finishes the year with 96 points between these 2 games.
And what's crazy about that is it's not like the Nets were like just some random team. Like, this team went to the NBA Finals this year. So it's not like he did it against a really good team.
Yeah.
Which is
for sure. And it speaks to the fact that in this East, a healthy Jordan might have had a chance to do something. So once they start getting on the roll, because this is the other thing, he didn't have Rip Hamilton at the beginning of the year. Rip Hamilton was coming back from injury. There were a couple games where he didn't start, but he got rolling at the end of November. Between November 22nd and February 12th, which is right before Jordan got hurt, they're 24-14. They're allowing 91 points per game and 44% shooting from their opponents. Which
so
is
where's that? Where would that have ranked? Where would that have ranked the 91?
So 91
wasn't that like top 10 in the league?
I'll tell you right now.
And they even finish much higher than they did the previous year.
Oh,
the previous 2 years, yeah.
So the 91 puts them third or fourth. 91.2
points a lot. Yeah, that would have been
fourth. Excuse me.
And that automatically is telling you playoff team.
Facts, especially in this era. Yeah, especially in this era, and their 44% shooting puts them pretty close here. 42 puts them in the top 10.
Top 10, yep.
Has them in the top 10. So they're top 10 defense with both those guys.
Yep.
Jordan, as we go back to his little stat sheet. So after this 51-point game, from here until his
46
meniscus injury, from here until his meniscus injury, which happens against the Kings.
Yeah, it was the 40. No, that's the Lakers, I think, right?
I clicked the one before because he got injured during the Sacramento game.
I thought it was during the first one though.
What first one?
He has the Sacramento game right before the Lakers.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what I thought.
He played 40 minutes, so I was thinking.
You might be right. Maybe I got it mixed up.
You could be, because they are close to each other. Because they won this game too. That's why I was like, maybe they got their. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I thought
he was doing good because remember during the injury he does his little pump fake thing. He makes it off the backboard and then he just bumps into his teammate and drops and then kind of just gets right back up, holds his knee and still plays.
Yeah, that's true. So
because he plays 14 games after his injury too.
Yeah, which
that's another way to tell.
Me off hard. That threw me off hard when I was trying to do this math the first time.
Yeah,
it's because I was like, but he still plays. It's confusing. So I was trying to figure out when exactly the injury was. But last 19 games before the injury, he's 28, 6.5, and 5.2 with a steal and a half a game, shooting 45%. So we're getting closer to the 98 Jordan, last dance MJ, right? If we move it 10 games, which is here, or 9 games, last 9 games, 29.8 points per game, 6 rebounds, 6.5 assists, a steal, shooting 49%. Yep. This is essentially last dance MJ. He made it all the way back before his injury, which is kind of crazy to think about. And he was getting to be that level of consistent. And you can see even through the box scores. The 10s and the 6 and the 15-point games are going away and there's more 30, 25 for the whole season. I'm pretty sure he's going to hit that superstar standard or our superstar standard for a guard of 25, 5, and 5.
Well, at that point, it's actually more so elite standard. Yeah. Because at that point, the only other person having that average right there is Kobe Bryant. Yeah. And Kobe's just doing it slightly more efficient than he is. For the year, Kobe's averaging 25, 6 and 6 on 45% shooting. Yeah. So it's like
Jordan 25.
Yeah, and he's still averaging his pretty much almost 2 steals a game.
Yep. Crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And the guy's been retired for a while. Fucking
wild. That's 5 years.
I think it's 3 full seasons.
3 full seasons.
Yeah, it's 3 full seasons of him being back. Right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and then he's back. So he gets injured with the meniscus tear, and that fucking tanks their whole season. But do you think they would have legitimately made noise in the playoff without MJ being hurt?
In the East, maybe. He probably could have got to the semifinals, maybe conference finals, but I don't see them going to the finals.
So, what was their record? Their total record was 26-22, which again is around 500.
Yeah. Could you go to the
all these
scoring for? I mean, the average who's the top scoring leaders.
Oh,
MJ,
yeah.
if he,
Yes, I got you.
So MJ, if he would have like remained where he was at, which most likely he would have kept elevating because he was more so at he's starting to become peak form because you have a bunch of those bad games from the beginning and there. He would have been six. He would have been somewhere around 6 in scoring for that year. Like you have and he turned out 10th.
Yeah, he's out of the qualifying because he just missed the number of games played. But when you take off the qualifying, he was 10th, all things considered.
And then also, that's like again because we're judging him at MJ status.
Yeah,
we're not looking at like at that point that's a superstar in the league.
Yeah,
in current NBA, that's like a Paul George kind of guy. That's a that's a CJ McCollum, that like decent second stars.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, which is insane. Yeah, that's really crazy. And a lot of people don't notice that because you look at the numbers and you're like, okay, it's like you can see the decline, but then when you look into it, you're like, snap, he was really gonna make some noise.
Do you think? Because this is the hard part to ask you this question because I don't think he would have ever thought to do this. However, Kobe's on the Lakers, right? He loves Kobe. He has
I don't know how much he loves him at this time.
He doesn't hate him because he talks to him. He still talks to him a lot, and I know he's been talking to him from the retirement point. Him and Shaq have a good relationship from the Eastern Conference All-Star games. You always see him and Shaq playing around, messing around with All-Star games. Phil Jackson is in LA, right, at this time. Do you think MJ would have worked on that Lakers team in 01 as their small forward?
You see, yeah, I can see why you would say that you wouldn't think he would do that because they already just won a championship. It's like,
and he's just so competitive, and it's about everything that I was saying before about him wanting to play against these guys.
And even with this, like, he's picking a team. Like, he has a team that he's going to that's worse in the league.
Fucking white dog shit.
Yeah, exactly. And they won a bunch of games and stuff too. Like because of him, he was the only major the significant add-on, and they won 15, 16 games more, and that was him with injury. So that's crazy.
And their attendance went from bottom of the league to second.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Bonkers.
He was just freaking rock star. But to answer your question, I feel like it wouldn't because I don't think MJ would have played the third role.
Yeah, I think that would have been tough for him.
Yeah, and there was no way in hell he could justify thinking. Kobe was already thinking, I'm one. If you coming in here, and it's against prime Shaq, he's thinking, I'm one.
Yeah.
Old ass Michael Jordan, Kobe's gonna be like, get the fuck out. Like Kobe's gonna be dog walking him in practice. So there's no way in hell he's gonna be like, I'm gonna take the third. Kobe would have never took the third spot in that. He was mad enough he had to go second. To him, it was like 1A, 1B. Like if anybody told him he was second fiddle, he was wilding on him.
Yeah.
Like, so there's no way he's going to be like, MJ's over here trying to take my spot now. Like, get the hell out of here.
Lindsay, do you think Michael Jordan would have accepted playing a third role to Kobe and Shaq?
No.
It's just hard to believe.
It would have defeated the purpose of him coming back.
Yeah, I think for him, I think in his mind, I think it would have definitely defeated.
Yeah, because he's looking at it like, I can help my team that I own. And I feel like, and I'm also competitive. I see all these guards, like I want to go against them. Like he's not going to want to play with the best guard in the league. Like Kobe's, it's 1 and 2 at that point. It's him and Iverson that people are talking about at best guards,
right?
And at that time, so MJ's not gonna want, and MJ's probably thinking it's Kobe, like just because he's more like his style or whatever. So,
and he's probably also thinking, once I up the value of this team in Washington, then I'll come back, I'll be part owner, and I'll reap the rewards.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is what we're going to get into for the next season. Is we're going to talk about the last hurrah of Michael Jordan and his playing career.